service members he leads. And for his integrity and caring for the welfare of others, we give you thanks, and for his touching our individual lives, we will always be grateful. And as we recognize this very important milestone in his career today, may you grant Major Egbo the strength, wisdom, and courage necessary for the new responsibilities and opportunities he will encounter. And may he always be reminded that he is not alone. Many others have preceded him, and the examples of the past are a legacy to us all. And may we all remember the heritage which has been given us and continue to do our best to uphold the traditions of excellence demanded of those who faithfully serve our nation. Lord, this I ask in your name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
First, I want to tell Tim, thank you for doing me the honor of officiating your promotion today. I've had the opportunity to do quite a few over my 21 years of service, but this is the first time I've got to promote a mentee to field grade, and it is something I am truly proud of, and your accomplishments and how hard you've worked and your drive to get here. So thank you for letting me take part in this. And then to the Egbo family, I've had the opportunity to get to know you all through Tim, as well as being hosted and meeting the kids while I was there in Kenya. So thank you, and welcome for your new addition. And your sister, hello, I get to meet you when you came in, Gladys. Thank you for coming down. So like I said, I had the opportunity of meeting Tim by chance. It was not something that was I set out to do. We did not work together. I was not stationed where he was, and his first duty station was at RID. And I encountered him by working on a mentorship guide. It was his idea. It was something that Colonel Tyner wanted to make sure we created an atmosphere for our junior officers that set them up for success. Matching them with senior officers that can help guide their career, right? That we have directed sessions that come in, and they're not necessarily linked into our community early on, and then they get lost. And that happens at RID, right? People will tell you there was a time you get to RID and you would end up in a broom closet. But that was not Tim's experience, because he joined the military first because he wanted to be a citizen. But then he found out he had an opportunity to go to graduate school to get his PhD, and it made him excited. It was something that he really wanted to do. But another chance encounter at RID allowed him the opportunity to meet Colonel Norwood, who made it a point to not put him in a broom closet, but to introduce him to others within the community at RID and make sure he got on the right step towards his future to do well. He had the opportunity to have his ORB at the time, now an STP, shown to the command to make sure where he was going to be placed at was an area that he could thrive in. It's a science that he understood under a leader that he could thrive in. So, Egbo's career has been written in the stars well before he got started. And it truly has been a beauty watching you grow. But another thing that I really appreciate with Tim is he is open, he is honest, he wears a uniform, he acts like he wears a uniform, whether that's here at work or whether or not he's out. When he called me to talk about the mentorship guide, it was after hours, I think it's probably like 6 o'clock in the evening, and he just wanted to make sure that I was okay with what he did. And then that turned into, I swear, like a 3-hour-long conversation just about him and his family. Just about him and his family. And at the end of the conversation, I was like, I don't know if I just got a mentee or he was just bored. But from then, I really got to know Tim, right? Not Captain Egbo. I really got to know Tim and got to see that when he takes that uniform off, he's still Captain Egbo, right? Everything he is as a person is intertwined in how he walks and how he talks, how he cares for his friends and his families, right? That is just Tim. So I reached out to a couple of his friends and I said, I know Captain Egbo. All of us know Captain Egbo, but not all of us know that the Captain Egbo we see here at work is the same Tim they get to see at home. So I said, hey, these are the Army values that he's expected to display as an officer. Could you tell me how that's reflected at home? So your friend, Gaki, says, for honor, Major Egbo believes in and promotes excellence. He sets high standards for himself and motivates those around him to do the same. He is a man of his word and will still meet his end of the bargain when the odds are tilted against him. And then you have your friend Jeffrey, who didn't want to send me anything in writing per se, because he said he was going to be here in person. And I told him I would love to yield the floor for him to tell his story of how Captain Egbo shows who he is as a professional outside of uniform. Tim.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Obudu, and I'm excited to be here to support my friend, Tim, and thank you, Mr. Collins, for the email. When I saw the email, I was like, oh yeah. Now, I got one to, say some things about Timothy, my friend. And I just want to say congratulations on this milestone. This is really exceptional and very inspiring to see this. I remember we've been friends even before you joined the military. Although she told me to tell stories that reflect, your military attributions, but I want to tell stories about you before you even joined the military that really shows the character and values that you hold. So when I met Tim, it was probably over 11 years ago. Yeah. So there was this program that I wanted to join so I can, help develop myself and probably prepare me for either medical school or my PhD program. And so I talked to Tim. At that time, I was working for him and also his friend. And he helped me with, recommendation to get into the program. And I just got to the country, so I didn't have a car. There was no Uber at the time. And so Tim was like, okay, that's cool. I'll try to help you. And I needed to get a ride to the hospital 5 a.m. in the morning. But I have to be there at least, a few minutes before 5 a.m. And in the morning when I woke up around maybe 3:30, I was like, how do I even get there? I know I told Tim, but I'm not sure if we were to show up. This is somebody that I've met, recently. And before I could even think about calling him, he called me and was like, Jeffrey, I'm in front of you at the house. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready to take you to work. And I was like shocked. I'm like, wow, okay, that's great. This is the first day. So I got ready. He picked me up, dropped me off. By 5 p.m., he was already at the hospital to pick me up. And Tim did that consistently for 2 months. That really defined the friendship that we had. To see his selflessness, to see the determination, the support, and wanting to make sure that he was mentoring me and also being a friend to me. I worked in his lab, in his research lab, and also that helped me to actually become who I am today. I got my doctorate, but I actually started in Tim's lab and working. And so I just wanted to say thank you for all the things that you've done and for just being an exemplary person and portraying the values that you hold, and not just by words, but in action. So I want to say thank you and congratulations.
I've known Tim for a while now, like I said, since his RID days and our 3-hour-long conversation. But when I really realized there was something special about Tim is and I always believe that a true testament of a leader is how you lead an university, right? That despite chaos around you, you still come to work, you show up, and you do what you have to do. And Tim was in the process of PCSing to go over to Kenya, and he lost his mom. And I talked to him often during that time, but I was always so surprised that he was still getting the job done, right? That he was hurting on the inside, but still showing up and doing what needed to be done. Because I know if I was in that boat, I don't know if I would have the same strength. And watching him live through that moment really changed me as an officer and really made me stop and think about what that really means to lead during adversity. And you have shown me that, and I have carried that with me. I'm definitely applying it in this day and age, right, where we're going through now. But you truly are a selfless individual. You put everyone else before yourself. You put the military before yourself. And I don't think everybody has the opportunity to understand and appreciate how much you sacrifice. You deserve to be here. You have worked hard to be here. And I cannot wait to see you continue to grow. Welcome to becoming a field grade officer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Attention to orders.
Post to order.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States have proposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and professional excellence of Captain Timothy Egbo. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore promoted in the United States Army to the rank of Major, effective first day of March 2025, by the Secretary of the Army. At this time, we ask Ms. Onyinye Egbo and Gladys Egbo. Lieutenant Colonel Natalie Collins will now present Major Egbo with his certificate of promotion.
You can stab him, and he'll be okay. Right.
Although it is not required by law, it is tradition that officers recite the oath of office upon promotion. Colonel Eli Lozano will now administer the oath of office. Please remain seated.
All right, good afternoon to everyone here. Thank you so much for making the time to celebrate an absolutely amazing officer, as you have all heard from his mentors and his friends. What I will say is this is a very unique and special promotion. I know Natalie mentioned kind of now coming to the field grade officer ranks, but not only coming to the field grade officer ranks, now he is the rank of Major. And in the Army, for his family, in the Army, we call the rank of Major Iron Major. And the reason we do that is before this rank, really officers are working at the very tactical level of military operations, doing really all the hardest work right in support of our service members. This is the first rank where you now work at the operational level of the Army and even the strategic level of the Army. And the reason we call them Iron Majors is because in the Army, for the strategic level, the colonels are really doing all of the heavy lifting in support of the generals, but the majors are doing all of the heavy lifting for the lieutenant colonels and colonels. And so this is the rank that the Army has absolutely massive expectations for both your leadership, your capacity, your growth, and the ability to build other leaders like yourself. So it is the rank that really prepares you for future ranks at the strategic level. And when we promote people, we don't promote them based on what they did and what they've done. We promote them based on their potential for higher levels of leadership and responsibility. So Tim, I couldn't be prouder of you. I will tell you that in my trip to Kenya, he was the escort officer, and all of you know that I love being on time. I totally don't love being on time. I'm horrible. But let me, Tim would not let me be late to anything. And no matter who I was talking to, I was getting tugged like this and then tugged like this. But we were on time to everything. He kept me on the ball, and it was very evident to me from the level of respect that everyone in Kenya deferred to you, the amount of hard work that you did on their behalf, and not only that, but that you really cared for them and about them. So I'm extremely proud of everything you've done. So the oath, right? Love doing the oath. As mentioned, it's something that's not required, and the reason it's not required because when we first come into the Army, whether it's enlisted or whether it's an officer, we take the oath that one time. But it's such a powerful oath because it reminds us why we do what we do. In our military career, I'll mention that we will serve in many, many, many units across the Army. But the most important unit in the Army is all of you, the family unit, right? That's part of why we do what we do. But the oath also describes, right, that we do it for this flag right here. This oath is special because our Army, the greatest Army that has ever existed, is the only Army that doesn't take an oath to a person or a party or a group. We take an oath to a document called the U.S. Constitution. Such an amazing, lovely document that really underpins and describes the freedoms and liberties we all get to enjoy in what is the greatest country on this planet. And the oath reminds us that no matter who's sitting in whatever seat, that document is what really drives our mission, our focus, and our purpose. And so I couldn't be proud to serve in this Army. The other thing I'll tell you about the oath, and I'll point to the flags, is typically in a row of flags, the American flag will always be on the right side, and it is the side of honor. As such, when we do the oath, typically the senior officer stands on the side that I'm on, and the junior officer stands on the left side. But I do something a little bit different. So I'm going to switch places with Tim and put him in the place of honor. Step a little bit forward. And the reason I'm placing Tim in the place of honor is because I also do something a little bit different. As we do the oath, I'm going to have Tim hold the American flag. As just a small reminder of the symbol that we all signed up to fight for. This is the symbol that represents all of you in this room. And it's just a small reminder that what we are doing is we are doing something so uniquely special and really outside of ourselves because we really are devoted to selfless service in support of our nation and all of the people that it represents here in America. So without any further ado, Tim, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Timothy Egbo,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same.
I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
I will well and faithfully
I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office I'm about to enter.
of the office I'm about to enter.
So help me God. Congratulations. Don't even sweat it, narrator. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest major in our United States Army, Major Timothy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. It's such an honor. Thank you, Collins, for accepting to do this and preside over the ceremony. Thank you. And thank you, Colonel Lozano, for this opportunity. I think this is very unique. I was telling Colonel Collins this morning that I've never been promoted. This is my first official promotion. Everything looked different, everything looked new, but there's always first for everything. And I really appreciate you making time to be here, sir. And to my family, I'm really thankful. My wife, Onia, have been with me the entire time of this journey. We met in college, and since college time till now, we've been stuck together. There's something we said that we don't go differently. Like when I joined the Army, we made this agreement that wherever the mission goes, we'll go. She's gone. And I'm not very good at this, but I want to also say thank you to my sister. She's like my mother now. This is very special to me because at age 4, I was in a village somewhere in Nigeria, and she was out in the sea. She came back home for Christmas or something, and my mom told her that he is different, he's very smart. I was just kidding. She was in high school, and she took me from there back to the sea, and I lived with her. I don't know how she did it as a high schooler, but I remember that she sold things on the streets just to see me through school. And when the opportunity came, she came to the United States. She didn't leave me behind. She made efforts to bring me over. And since then, she's always been like a shepherd to me. So you being here today is a milestone of where we've come from. Thank you. So thank you all for coming, to the officers in the room and the NCOs that have mentored me. I just want to say a very big thank you to First Class Batten for being here. First, when I joined the Army, I started as a reservist, as a dental specialist. And then my first unit was the 7233rd at Upper Alabama. Got to my unit, I didn't know what to expect. And I met him. And he was the NCO then at the unit. And he worked with me throughout the process to get me stabilized, but continued to mentor me all through. But not just that, even until when I took command at usarmy, I still reached back and called him to ask questions. How do I address this? What is this? And you've always been there. Thank you. And I wouldn't, one thing that comes to my mind is that more than my mouth can testify or more than my mind can comprehend, my heart is full of gratitude. And I'm sure that this is not the end. Just like Colonel Collins mentioned, when I joined the Army in 2015, 10 years ago, impossible. It seemed a non-immigrant. The sole purpose for me then was to obtain American citizenship in exchange for foreign language abilities. Today, about 10 years of my 10 years from now, 10 of my smart friends from school have seen these possibilities in serving American military, without counting those that have tried and did not pass. What does this mean is, I was the first to try this out, to make effort, to see that, to even break out that this is possible. In 10 years looking back, I can count 10 of my friends from school that I said, and when I reach back, that we saw you did this and we saw that it was possible, and we did it. And they are both in the Army, Air Force, Navy, all over. To my family, this was not even a dream that came to reality, because they didn't see it coming, as I didn't myself, until after I signed the contract, and I told my sister I joined the Army. She was like, "What do you mean?" However, I learned later that my sister also tried to join the U.S. military, but couldn't due to policy changes at the time. When I decided to become an officer, I was told it was not possible unless I obtained a signature from the AR Medical Commander because of the process of how I joined. Thankfully, I had two leaders that saw more in me and was ready to go extra miles to make it happen. Major Coleman and Sergeant First Class Batten, who is here today, worked with me tirelessly to make sure I got the signature that I needed. Until at this time, I finished my PhD and I joined and was able to pursue the next career in the military. Fast forward to today, I am a major in the United States Army. This is a rank I don't take for granted. It is the foundation of how successful I will be as a field grade officer. I am very optimistic of the future. I've been blessed to have leaders that intentionally want me to try, to be one of the best Army have. I look forward to using this rank and its privileges to advance the mission. So, like I said, thank you, Colonel Collins. Thank you for hosting such an amazing ceremony, and thank you for always believing in me and eager to share your thoughts and experience. Your advice since the initial meeting still echoes in me. You asked me to grow where I am planted, then branch out. Those words have challenged me to be the best in any organization I find myself, while exploring other opportunities to enhance my skills. Chaplain Vincent, thank you. Thank you for honoring this invitation and the kind invocation. May God bless you, sir. I'm also very thankful for leaders that served with me, and for those, although some of them are not here, and I'm sincerely grateful to have served with them. I want to start by saying thank you to Colonel Gennady for being here today. He was the first officer that I served under in the Army as an officer. Thank you for leading with empathy, a skill I learned and was very helpful when I took command. As a young officer just arriving in usarmy, it seemed impossible trying to navigate what is next, but he was very patient. I want to say thanks to Colonel Jenkins, former usarmy commander, for enforcing standards and tracking down trickle-down grants. As a company commander under her, she took time to ensure that I learned through the right process. That opportunity that made me continue to live to the standards. To Colonel Lacey, my previous director at Red Africa, I don't know if he's watching, but I want to say very big thanks for him inspiring me to not just do more, but to do excellently. It's one thing with Colonel Lacey is he doesn't just ask for more, he asks for excellence. And that is one standard that he enforced in all of us. But also, he's one person that I've seen that has this special empathy that works to make things happen. When I met him, it's at the time where everything was just very tough. I lost my mom. I arrived to Kenya, and there was a protest, and the embassy closed down travels. I don't have my visa at the time, so nothing was moving. But he made it a duty upon himself to see me to go into Nigeria to be there for my mom's funeral. How he pulled the kings to make sure I left the country and I came back safely, I don't know, but it happened. I want to say thanks to Colonel Burgess for genuinely inspiring me to be a subject matter expert in my field. He was my direct supervisor. We lived together in the same compound, but he was not just, we became very close that our families could just, the kids can play together and we can just exchange common things like salt. But at the same time, he is one scientist and an officer that I know that respects the field and also wants to be, wants us to be the best that we can be as a scientist. To my very good friend, Kirti, Major Tiwari, thank you. All of this wouldn't have been possible if he didn't envision it. He saw it, and we started planning it, and he made all the kinks and everything that moved all the things that made everyone here to be here for my families, to make sure that they got access, to make sure that they're here. Thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for always being there. I want to continue to say thank you, but time will not allow me to thank everybody. But I'm very truly thankful. But I want to say very special thanks to Jeff and Kirsten from usarmy. I've worked with them since leaving usarmy, since time I was at RAID, at the same department. And since then, we've collaborated together and we'll continue to collaborate together in many things. And you guys have really pushed me and inspired me to do works even greater than what everyone thinks is impossible. When I arrived to Kenya, I met Dr. Waitembi in his office and I said, what can I do? He said, if you do this one thing, we've tried over the years, it's not possible. We've not been able to get usarmy assay, and we really, really need it badly. I said, if this is it. I went to Colonel Burgess and I said, if I'm able to get the usarmy assay that they've tried and it never happened, can I get an award for it? And he laughed and he's like, yeah, sure, let's see if it works. Because the shipping and the process and the challenges to get that in country were just insurmountable. And I called Jeff and we started working on it. It wasn't just that we brought the assay in country, but also we were able to bring them in country. Kirsten was able to be in country to do trainings and train the staff. So that, I say thank you. You made me look good, and I appreciate it. So to Dr. Ham and Nina, we've worked together. Thank you so much for being here and for always enduring my continued ask and stretch. And I look forward to working with to your organization and even you two in the near future. But without taking time, today wouldn't have been possible without the great support of everyone that is here and the companion and support that have guided me through where I am today. I'll say that Colonel Saboski, it's one unique person, an officer that I've encountered. I've not had the opportunity to work for you, sir, but I've had the opportunity to interact with you that have shaped my career. I was telling another officer yesterday, I said, think of where you want to be, then figure out how you want to get there. And I remember when I called you, that conversation stayed alive in me. I was approached at RAID to become the adjutant. to the deputy commander at the time. And I called you and I said, sir, this is what is being offered. I don't know what I'm going to do. And you gave me your idea. I was waiting for you to tell me yes or no. You did it, but you gave me all the nuggets for me to make the right decisions. And I thought it through, and I made that call for it. And that call I made, I'm very proud of. That has helped bring me to where I am today. So thank you for just not defecting. Even for our AOC, you've always given us an option, but just opening that window and opportunities for us. I'm also very thankful for all the sacrifices to my children, Chebe and Sikora. They make the best team for a military child. They are resilient in the face of change, making it easy for me to do what I do. They always ask me, when are you traveling? It becomes very routine because in Kenya we had TDY was very eminent and I traveled a lot, but they consistently saw it as an opportunity. And I'm looking forward to seeing you grow and seeing all the things that we can accomplish together. And I want to say thank you all for being here, and many thanks for this opportunity. And I look forward to serving in this grade and the beautiful things that will come with it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the